Hey now, fans of the Boba, it's time to break down another chapter of his book thanks to the arrival of S1E4, aka The Gathering Storm, or the one with more mods and less Rodriguez. Let's get started with the Easter eggs, references, and cameos found in this episode. So up first, we see the flares being used by Mando and the new bounty hunter to try and capture Fennec, which finally shows us how Boba found her nearly dead body. Then we got a nod to Boba's soon-to-be Vespa gang at the mod parlor where he brought Fennec, so one could say their partnership in the present was written in the stars. I'm pretty sure the mod doc, who is played by Steven Thundercat Bruner for our cameo of the episode, has a B2 hand before he changes it out for his mad scientist Swiss Army knife attachment. Boba refers to the Slave One as his fire spray gunship for the first time in live action, which is surely to get fans in a tizzy for no reason, so prepare for a helping of "they're killing his legacy" and "Disney sucks" noise on your socials this week. In what can only be seen as a demotion, it appears Evie 99 is now a sous chef rather than the boss of droids. Maybe it's his punishment for not realizing his new server droid R2 smuggled a lightsaber on board Jabba's sail barge, which ultimately led to what 88 calls the sail barge disaster. We also get to see a COO cook droid, which was first referenced in Attack of the Clones on the refugee ship Anakin and Padme are on. He also gives us an undeniable nod to General Grievous when he goes into Ginsu mode with his knives. We were just missing a "hello there" from Boba to perfect the homage. It looks like Evie was preparing Sorgan frog stew, which are the species of frog our little buddy Grogu liked to murder. Bib's kitchen wasn't done yet with eggs and references because we got to see a Lep Droid for the first time in live action. These little suckers first appeared in the Clone Wars movie, and they clearly believe in seppuku when they feel their honor is lost. Luckily, it looked like this guy didn't turn himself back on at one point because he does show up in the palace again. What would a Star Wars show be without a Gonk droid? Not a Star Wars show. So luckily we got a four-legged one in this episode. R.I.P. you walking explosive. What would an episode with the Slave One be without a firing of a seismic charge? A less cool sounding one, if anything else. I question including the flashback of the stinger scene for Mando, but I've already said something about it, so here it is, the Bib kill shot. And to round out this list, we got a triumphant return of Mando'S theme song, which opens up all sorts of Super Friends possibilities for the show's final 3 episodes. And now for the key moments. It was awesome to finally get clarity on how Boba found Fennec in the desert and healed her gut wound. I had been wondering if he was tracking Mando somehow, but that never made complete sense considering his situation. So seeing how his save played out was the type of fan service us lorehounds need. Love them or hate them, this moment also provided a tie to the mods in Boba's present, as Fennec is essentially one of them thanks to her new gut parts. We got all kinds of answers in this episode about Boba's motivations post-Sarlacc pit escape, and it appears one of his main drivers for claiming the throne besides what happened to his Tusken clan is the fact that he's tired of working for idiots as a bounty hunter. He really was just tired of watching people like him die for bozos and wanted to try and change the game when it came to being a Gotra. The whole reclamation of the Slave One was a cool scene to watch, but the real key moment is that it made Fennec want to stick around with Boba versus taking off, which is what she promised in her original deal to pay off her debt to him. Between Boba's pitch to rule and the thrill of getting his ship back, she decided it may be worth her time to stick with the new Fett, so we got to see fully how they've bonded over the past few seasons of Mando, and of course the beginning here of the Book of Boba Fett. Yo, Boba mowing down the Nikto bikers is about as vintage Boba as it gets. So are we happy he got a little murderous finally? I love how the scene was shot, and seeing the Slave One creep up on them was a thing of vengeful beauty. The return to the Sarlacc was surprising to me. But I guess it makes sense that Boba thought his armor was still in there, as he was delirious when the Jawas jacked it. If anything, we got to see the Sarlacc trying to eat the Slave One and its death, which I thought already occurred thanks to Boba burning his way out of its gut, but taking a seismic charge to its beak works for me too. R.I.P. the Great Pit of Carcoon, for real this time. For those that may be thinking Fennec will turn on Boba in the present for his perceived weakness, her line about the Tuskens making him soft is pretty ominous. She clearly worries about this from the start of their relationship, so it's definitely still weighing on her in the present. His rebuttal of living with the Tuskens has made him stronger because you can only go so far without a tribe provided great insights into how much his time with them really did fundamentally change his outlook on life, as well as his need of belonging. This mantra is what has motivated him to rule with respect in the present, and while Fennec still may not like it, I do believe his alliances through respect will ultimately win the day for him when all looks lost. So we learned from a droid that Boba is now fully healed, which could mean the final 3 episodes all take place in the present, as the Bacta tank was our vehicle to his past. But I'm thinking we still may get a look at how he ended up learning that Din secured his armor from Cobb and how he tracked him to Tython to reclaim it. That is really the only thing left from his past that isn't fully clear at this point, so I wouldn't be surprised if the flashbacks continue through some other vehicle than the Bacta tank. You have to love that Chrysanthemum has essentially become one of the main characters in this series. He's been in 3 straight episodes, and in this one, we get to see the hate he and all Wookiees have for Trandoshans. They're enslavers during the Empire. Plus, you got his gladiator history explained to you from the lovely Garsa Fwip, and Boba bringing him into the mix. So here's to the big guy and his starring role in a Star Wars series. Obviously, Boba's deal with the other families is key to the plot moving forward, but to me, seeing them taunted with the Rancor was awesome, and almost paid off on a prediction I had months ago that Boba may have purposely set up dinner on the pit to wipe them all out. While we didn't get that, he did ultimately use the Rancor to get some sort of deal, so I'll take the half win. All diehards, at least those of us who seek out leaks and whatnot, were probably not surprised to hear Mando's theme song being played when Fennec mentions hiring Muscle, but it was awesome to hear nonetheless and has me excited for his Book of Boba Fett debut. While there's a chance we may get Din Djarin in a flashback still, his theme playing to me confirms he will appear in the present if anything else. You have to wonder if Fennec and Boba are planning to hire out the whole bounty hunter guild to come help, which would allow some iconic hunters to be brought into the fold like Bosk, Grief Cardboard, and others, or if they're solely leaning on Mando and his ties to other Mandalorians. At this stage, I don't think Din would have reverted to being a bounty hunter again, so maybe he comes with the Owls, or maybe he does reunite with some former hunters. If anything, Din is coming, and based on recent rumors, he may be whipping an N1 starfighter to boot, so I can't wait to see what his theme music in this episode ultimately leads to. This was a solid episode, heavy on world building and Boba lore, so it was a winner for me. The pieces are coming in place for a hell of a ride over the final 3 episodes, and we're finally out of trailer territory, so everything we see next will be fresh. I'm holding out hope for more flashbacks even though the plot device to get us to them seems gone. But if we are present timeline only for the final push, I'll be okay with that too. Especially because we know da 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 is right around the corner, and that will only lead to more Star Wars excellence. Make sure to tune into the next episode of the Star Wars Time Show, in which myself and my co-host Nick will fully break down this episode and give our thoughts on it as a whole. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subbing to our YouTube channel. We'd also love for you to join in with our weekly Star Wars podcast, so use the links in this video's description or head to StarWarsTime.net to subscribe to the platform of your choice. There's always time for Star Wars time, and remember, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you, always.